And we are live, guys. Welcome to yet another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and today we want to talk about designing your ideal lifestyle. What does that mean to you? What kind of lifestyle do you want? Okay, I've spoken to you before. Repetition is the mother of skill, and on this channel we repeat a lot because very often we don't seem to manage to put the basics and establish the basics firmly into our lives. The basics is basically, who are you and what are you here for? Why are you here? Right? Understanding these basics will help you to establish the grander scheme of things for your life. So very often people ask you, what do you do? Right? But what you do is not necessarily who you are. Okay? Like if I'm an accountant, I shouldn't be saying I'm an accountant, because that suddenly becomes who I am. So if someone suddenly asked me to do something else that maybe would pay me a lot more in the future, and I'm not really happy with my accounting, but I say all the time, I am an accountant, I am an accountant, I am an accountant, then you will remain an accountant. But if you say, right now I do accounting, I've been specializing in accounting for several years, and that's what I do right now. So if you just kind of, you get the point. Like what you're trying to do is design your lifestyle, not necessarily get a job or do a job for a certain number of years. You want to design your lifestyle to what you want it to be. Remember that you are responsible for every single thing in your life. Every single thing in your life, whether you're happy, sad, depressed, everything. Like, yes, of course, there are unfortunate events that happen to many of us, all of us, but those are not things that define you, and you can create a positive circumstance out of anything. Okay, so, but in general, how do you want your life to look like? Let's start designing it. Let's compare it to a house. When you're gonna build a house, not many people of you probably have been in the process of building a house. I have not yet. But when you see something being built, that process is ugly. Alright? We want the end picture. We want it to look like a beautiful mansion that has this and that and jacuzzi and spa and everything's like amazing. Everyone comes in there and like, wow, your house. But what was that process to build that house? First, you had to build the foundation, and you leveled everything that was on that platform or that was on that property, and you, like, they use machines, those ugly machines, to dig up all the earth. There's rocks everywhere, and it's just massively ugly. But in the mind of the builders, and in the mind of the creator and designer, that's maybe you could see it. You can imagine it. That makes you the creator. But when you started the process of designing and creating that house, it became nasty overnight. Like, it became horrific. Okay? And then slowly but surely you started setting up walls after you'd established the foundation. And still, it's completely ugly. No one can live in it. No one would want to live in it. It's just basically a few walls that are set up. You start setting up windows. You start setting up this and this. Over time, it doesn't have to take very long. It can take just a few months if it's a house. If it's your life, maybe it takes a year or two. But not more than that, okay? Sometimes it takes 5 because of horrific circumstances in your life right now. But over a 5 to 10 year period, you can establish anything in your life. But let's say 2-year period. You've now established everything, and eventually it's a beautiful mansion that started in the mind of the creator and designer of it, that then gave it over to the builders, and they, with their professions and skills, built it to the mansion that it is. Now everyone is, wow, amazing, blah, blah, blah. That compares directly to your life. Do you have a life plan of how you want things to look like? Do you want a family in the future? What kind of family do you want? How many kids do you want? What kind of relationship do you want with your wife or girlfriend at the time? And, for example, what do you do? How much passive income do you have? How much of that is expenses? How many expenses? Like, you understand? What we're trying to do is design your life. What kind of body do you have? What kind of skills can you do with your body? Etc., etc., etc. Like, move on and establish and create your ideal lifestyle in your mind's eye. And what's the next step? Building it. Okay? Then you need to bring in a team of people to help you build that ideal lifestyle. Okay? You are the main builder, but you bring in other people to help you along that process that know more than you about plumbing and doing all the routine stuff that you just don't know, but you'll learn and you'll become and establish the lifestyle that you're trying to create. And then your life becomes miserable. Alright? You've designed it, you know how it's supposed to look like, but now you start the process of building your lifestyle, building your house, and it becomes nasty. No one wants your life. No one wants what you're doing. You're getting your hands dirty. Okay? You're building up dirt. You're making your life miserable for a short period of time in order to create the mansion. Okay, most people are not willing to go through the muck of creating their ideal lifestyle, so they end up having a life and finishing their life without having designed it. And they end up working for others, slaving for others, without choosing how they want to live. We've come to a time now in 2018 where you can design your life. We're at a better time in history than ever before to actually establish a lifestyle that you absolutely love. Okay? But it's gonna get horrible, perhaps, until you begin to set up walls, get everything done, and suddenly you have a beautiful mansion, you have a beautiful life of what you wanted to create. But it needs to start up here. You need to understand that it will get worse before it gets better, because you're completely restructuring everything on your property, everything in your life, everything in the environment. You're restructuring it because in the future, it's going to be beautiful according to what you designed. Plans do work if you work. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and I'll see you again tomorrow.